Hello everyone, I want to give you guys my initial impressions on this AimPoint Pro, okay? So this belongs to a friend of mine. He left it with me. He left it with me so I can test out this rifle. So this is I looked it up. It's about $500, okay, for a dot only. Okay, so I'll give you guys a look through it. All right, so it is dot only. There's no 65 MOA circle. So a few things that just immediately stand out is, first of all, it's big. Okay, this thing is big for a dot only compared to other red dots that I have. Okay, it's pretty big. The other thing that immediately stands out as you look through it is that the body, right, the tube is pretty big, so that takes up a lot of your vision. Even if you remove the caps and stuff like that, basically it's just the body of the optic is taking up a lot of space. Okay, and now this is dot only. I kind of wish like it was a circle dot, or at least, and I know some people maybe don't like the circle dot, but it would be nice if at least like you could, let's say if it came with a circle dot, and then you had the option of like turning off the circle and going dot only if you wanted to. Let's say for the purpose of like conserving battery life. Okay, so I think that would be. I think that's something they could have done. Now, one of the benefits of the circle, aside for quick target acquisition, is in range estimating. Okay, so just to give you guys an example, if this is, let's say, my dot in the center here, and this is my 65 MOA circle, at 200 yards, my my man's going to stand with his feet here and his head here. Okay, so that's 200 yards. Okay, at 300 yards, he's going to come up about 3/4 of the height. So from there to there. At 400 yards, he's going to be like half the space between my dot and the bottom of the circle, right there, right? And then at 500 yards, he's going to be equal to this little hash, right? That's at the bottom here, because you got the 4 hashes on the side. So that's one of the things that you're missing out with, missing out on if you do not have the 65 MOA circle. You're missing out on the range estimating, which with the helps you with your holdovers, right? Because at 200 yards, I'm putting the dot right in the center of my target. At 300 yards, I'm putting that dot on his face, so I can drop him into his chest. At 400 yards, that dot's going to go on top of the head. Okay, and at 500 yards, okay, this is what 556 that we're talking about. At 500 yards, you take the distance from his belt to his head, and that's your holdover, right? So if my man is here, right? Let's say that's how basically my holdover will be someplace over there. So whatever you see as the distance the distance from his belt to his head, that's your holdover. So having a circle, 65 MOA circle, helps you figure that out and helps you know what your holdovers are at distance. Okay. So anyway, back to the scope. Like I said, it's dot only. It'd be nice if it also had the circle dot, and then you just had the option of just turning it off, switching it off, if you didn't want it. Now, one of the things that really came up as an issue yesterday is I had some trouble with this scope holding zero, but not because of the optic, but because of the base over here. So I shot a bunch of times. Like I started off with something like 6 MOA, which was pretty horrible. So I removed it, and first thing I found that because there's a riser in here, right? So this, I believe, is a stock mount, right? This is the mount that comes with this AimPoint. So there's a riser in there, and then there's screws that go in from the bottom and hold this thing together over here. So the screws were a little bit loose, so I tightened them up. But even after tightening them up, like, I still don't have, like, you can see like there's some space, you can see some white. Like, I still don't have, like just the way that the 3 pieces are sandwiched together. I don't have like 100% confidence in it. Now, I don't know how old this mount is, what it's been through, but the other thing is the way it attaches to the upper receiver is with this knob over here that you twist, like with this gigantic Frankenstein bolt. And First of all, like when I went to loosen it up, I just had to put a little bit of like just twisted it slightly in that direction, and the thing just immediately came loose. So I don't think that it was sitting there tight. Now I'm sure that my buddy initially had tightened it up as best as he could, and maybe it just loosened up over time. So you tighten it up, and the way this works is after you tighten it up, this thing clicks like 3 times, right? You keep going, you keep spinning it until it clicks 3 times. I don't want to do it because I've already done it. Click it until it goes 3 times, and then you have the proper torque. I don't know, man. I don't have like 100% confidence if that's tight enough. Okay, I think I kind of like, and they do make other mounts for the AimPoint, and I've seen. I looked it up online. There's other, like this AimPoint Pro is also sold with other mounts that have like the Allen screws over there. I think I would much rather have the one with the Allen screws, preferably if you have like 2 or 3 as opposed to just one. There's one big bolt over here. So yeah, I really don't like this bolt here. Now, if you have, let's say if you put this on a scar, right? This bolt is going to interfere. Like if you have a side charging handle that happens to be on your left side underneath it, that's going to interfere. This bolt is going to interfere with your charging handle. Now, on the scar, you can reverse the charging handle to the other side, right? So you do have that option, right? Or you can even flip it around on this mount. This mount is reversible. Okay, so you also have that option. But still, I mean, no matter what you do, you're going to have this gigantic bolt on either side. Like if you're going to get this optic, they do sell a version of this with a different mount that doesn't have the Frankenstein bolt. I definitely recommend that you get it without the Frankenstein bolt. Right, just get it with the Allen screws that you tighten with an Allen key. I think that I mean these AimPoints are like AimPoint was like kind of a pioneer in the red dot, in rifle red dots, and I think in the earlier days, a lot of people maybe didn't have a whole lot of confidence in red dots, so they had their flip up sights, and they wanted to have the ability to quickly remove the optic. And yeah, this big knob will allow you to quickly remove the optic, right? Because you don't have to be looking for Allen keys. So I think that might have been the mentality behind putting a gigantic knob over here. Not so much for easily getting it on, but more easily getting it off. I think that might have given people more confidence in the earlier days of red dots. And now I think it's kind of like a holdover over here. So what I did with this is like after I took it off, like I said, initially the thing had like something like 6 MOA, and I believe that it was because of the way the mount was sitting. It just wasn't tight enough. I mean, both the mount on the upper and also the riser, the 3 pieces here between the riser, the base, and the way they were secured together, it just wasn't tight enough. So I tightened that up for my buddy, and I shot it. Now, what I did is I shot it. I took it. I put it on, took it off. One of the things I noticed is like if you take this off, right? If you take this off and put it back on, there's a pretty big shift in your, pretty big shift, as much as like 10 MOA, right? So when I zeroed it in, right, I had like a 50-yard zero, took it off, put it back on, and I was like way off. I had to like completely re-zero. So it wasn't. So if you take it off and put it back on, you're not gonna have because I heard somebody say that it's like gonna be within 1 or 2 MOA. For me, it was a lot more than just that. All right. So once I got this thing pretty tight on here, I took it out to 100 yards again. I shot this group over here. I shot this group first with the what was it? The Igman. Okay. So with Igman, the group was pretty big. Came out to something like 3 or 4 inches. I said, okay, that kind of sucks. Then I took out this Wolf Gold. The Wolf Gold, I've been able to hit like 1 MOA. Not like it's not match ammunition, but it's like it's pretty good target ammo where I will usually get like 4 out of 5 shots at 1 MOA. Okay, so I took 5 shots here. Now today is like when I was shooting this, it was windy, so the wind is messing with us a little bit. So that's one of the reasons why like I didn't want to pull out like match grade ammunition, because just the weather conditions aren't going to allow us to be that accurate, right? So if I can get within 2 MOA under these weather conditions, I'm pretty happy. So I shot 4 shots. So the ones in the black are the Igman. All right, I said fine, at least I'm on the paper. And then I shot this Wolf Gold. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then one went way out here. Let's forget about the 5th one. The 4 shots are 2 MOA. Okay, the 4 shots. So that's pretty good. I said, okay, let's shoot this again. I shot it again, and then this time I got these 4 shots, and then this one over here. That was probably the ammunition, because I definitely didn't dip down that much. So that was probably the ammunition being a little underpowered there. But like I said, 4 out of 5 is what I kind of expect from Wolf. So that's an 1.5 inches at 100 yards. So 1.5 MOA. So right now, well, first of all, I have a lot of I have confidence now in this rifle, because initially when I was shooting this, I'm like, is it the rifle that sucks, or is it the optic, or is it the mount? I wasn't sure. So now that I've seen 2 inches there, 1.5 inches there, I know that the rifle, right, this aerial precision rifle is shooting good. And under better weather conditions, with better weather, with better ammo, I'm gonna get 1 MOA with this, right? If I can get 1.5 inches with Wolf Gold at 100 yards with match ammunition, I'll hit 1 inch. Okay, so the rifle is good; it's accurate. Now, if you notice here, here I was centered, here I went to the right. The reason why that would be is because there's no bubble level on this, right? Because a lot of times I'll put like a bubble level up there. So when I shot it this time, I probably was a little bit canted to the right. So if you cant the rifle left, you'll be like, at 100 yards, you'll be like 1 or 2 inches to the left. If you cant it to the right, you'll be 1 or 2 inches to the right. So the ground's pretty uneven here. So and also the way that the table is sitting on the snow is also not perfectly level. So when I shot this, I was probably canted a little bit to the right. So that's why I shifted about an inch to the right here, which is not a big deal. As long as you're holding the rifle consistent, you'll get a tight group. So, and that's fine for purposes of testing. So I got these 4 shots, 1.5 inches. So I'm good with that. My thing is, I'm still not 100% confident on this base. I think the optic is good. I know the rifle's good now. That base here, particularly the way, this mount, I'm not 100% confident in this. What I'm going to recommend to my friend is that maybe he switch out this mount, again, updated one without this gigantic knob over here. I don't know how much they cost, but I'll have to look that up for him. But yeah, that would be my recommendation. Oh, it would also lighten it up, because I saw the updated mounts are much lighter than this big thing over here. So those are my initial impressions on the AimPoint Pro. Okay, it's big, but it's got it's got the military history behind it, so it's been actually tested in combat. So that's what you're buying into. It's not terribly expensive. Like I said, it's about $500. The small ones are a lot more expensive. So basically you're paying you're paying less money for this, but you're paying it in terms of you're making up that difference, because you don't get nothing. You don't get something for nothing. You're getting a cheaper optic, but you're getting a much bigger optic for that cost savings. Okay, so my thoughts on that. Drop some comments. Let me know what you guys think, and I will talk to you soon.